together and I'm practicing how it is going live on two platforms at the same time. Good morning, hello, my friends and family on YouTube. My name is Fifi Rich, and I am a makeup artist and an inspirator. I'm so excited to have you here. And I'm not just here for you guys, I'm also live on Facebook as well. On my Facebook page, Makeup with Fifi Rich. So I'm just getting the hang of going live on two different platforms at the same time. And I think very soon I'm going to be doing it on three different platforms at the same time. So, welcome to my program, Let's Talk. For those of you that are new, Let's Talk is just a program where I do my makeup live and we'll talk about something. But as you guys see, I've already done my makeup except for the lips. And so I have something special for you guys. I'm just gonna do a demonstration of how I do my ombre lips. I'm gonna do a red and black ombre lip. And so let me just start by saying today's topic with Let's Talk, we do makeup first live, right? And then we're going to talk about something. So today's topic is, are women to blame for gender-based violence? Are women to blame for gender-based violence? So that's what we're going to be looking at. And I have my earrings on, you guys. You know, I love my jewelry. So yeah, I thought I was gonna wear a wig, and I decided, nah, let me just embrace my mapondo. I really, really love them, and I did them myself. So cheers to that. So yeah, you guys, I'm from recording a makeup tutorial, so you guys should expect that very, very soon. But I am just going to say we're talking about, are women to blame for gender-based violence today on Let's Talk. Hey, my sweetheart, how are you? I'm so excited to have you on. You just do this thing to me, girl. You just really light up my mood. Thank you for being here, Naomi. She says, looking gorgeous, host. Thank you so much. Naomi, I'm live on YouTube and on Facebook as well on Makeup with Fifi Rich. So I'm just getting the hang of it. And very soon I have to get like a quality device so that, I can do the most for Facebook. So I just talked about women to blame for gender-based violence, Naomi. So stay with us. And I'm going to have a guest today. I'm gonna have a guest. This is a qualified counselor and social, enterprise consultant. She is in the NGO field, just similarly to myself. I've got like experience 9 years or more, 9 years slightly more, including volunteer days with community-based work, community service. So something that I really understand. And so guys, today we're gonna have a guest. Her name is Patience Nehanda, and she's a modern woman of faith. This is how she wants me to introduce her. So I'm going to introduce her like that. She's a woman of faith. She's a motivational speaker. She's a qualified and professional counselor. Okay. And she's experienced also in the area of social work. And she is co-running Chiedza Social Consultancy, which empowers people. They empower, vulnerable groups such as women and girls. We know that women and girls are the most vulnerable members of society. So they do that also for the youth and children. And one of the things that they do is offering counseling and psychosocial support. They offer counseling and psychosocial support. So you guys can check them out on Facebook. Just search Chiedza Social Consultancy. Chiedza Social Consultancy, if I got it right. Otherwise, she will correct me. And so we are scheduled to have a lady, this beautiful, amazing woman, as our guest today. She's going to be talking with us on this issue of, are women to blame for sexual violence? Naomi, I'm sure this is something that you could also have something to say with regards to, because COVID lockdown days, since they started, we've had a rise in GBV, in gender-based violence, in assault of girls and women, and even divorces, breakups. Like with COVID, a lot of things went down, girl. I don't know why that is, but I'm just gonna finish up my ombre lip. And for those of you guys that are on Facebook, I don't know if you can see, but I'm just gonna moisturize my lips first of all with Vaseline, because this is Let's Talk. We do makeup and we talk. So I'm just doing an ombre lip, Naomi, and first I'll moisturize my lips. And usually when I do an ombre lip, I kind of like to apply a light foundation. Like it could be my shade because I'm lighter, but if you were to do it and you have, darker skin, you could just apply something a bit light just to kind of prep the lips for that ombre lip application so that the colors can pop. Kind of like how when we do eyeshadows, we want to just prime the eyelids with an eyeshadow primer or a concealer that's at least 2 to 3 shades lighter. So I'm just gonna reach for my TV paint sticks. I don't know if the Facebook people can actually see this because I'm not using a quality device for my Facebook Live. So I'm just gonna pick this baby up right here. These are the TV paint stick a tester palette, and this one is in the shade FS29, and that would be my shade. Actually, is it? No, it's a bit lighter. It's a bit lighter. So I'll just put that. I'll just put that on my lips just to kind of prep them a little bit. So I'm just gonna pick up this mirror right here, and I want to make sure that I just blend it out and I press my lips together so that I blend it well. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like some kind of a lip color already. Looks like some kind of a lip color, don't you think? Yeah, looks like some kind of a lip color. So then after that, I'm gonna reach out for a black eyebrow pencil. You could use your eyebrow pencil, your black eyeliner, whatever, black pencil that you have. I'm doing a black and red ombre lip. And the rule of thumb with an ombre lip is that right in the borders of your lips, you want to have the darker color. And then in the inner part of your lips, you want to put on the lighter color. So we'll start with the darker color. For me, this is going to be the eyebrow pencil, and I'm using one that I got from Chanel's. This was a gift actually. It's written colored soft cosmetic art, and the shade name black. So I don't know what brand this is, and they just wrote that it's for makeup. It's for makeup and it's safe on skin. So I'm gonna start by just applying this one in the frame of my lips. So it's a bit slippery because the product is a bit slippery just because I moisturized with Vaseline before this. Probably I put too much, I don't know. So guys, once you're on here, please just let me know that you're here. And then I'm just gonna press the lips together. Then I'm gonna go in and fill the lower lip. And then I'm just gonna press them in again. I'm gonna press them together. Then I'll do that again for the upper lip. So this is just like apply, blend, repeat like that until you have the consistency that you want. And for me, I don't cross the the frame of my lips. Yeah, I think that's fine for now. So I'm just gonna put this baby away. Naomi has left, but I hope she'll be back very soon. And my battery is running low. I should just I should probably connect the charger. So it was actually raining this morning, you guys, and I was like, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? What if the power cuts? And now we're here, so I'm so happy. So yeah, and then I'm gonna fill in the inner lips with this red lipstick right here. This is in the shade LS33, aka Real Red, and this is by Style by Table Charm. So I'm just applying and then I'll press the lips together. Oh my word. I'm sorry if I'm blocking the camera, Facebook, guys. Ooh, I'm getting used to this, guys. So be patient. Practice makes perfect. Yeah. So I think it's fine. It's not too dark. It's not, there's not too much of lipstick. Hmm. So you really want to make sure that you got it all blended. So you have to blend, blend, blend. So I feel like I'm just gonna go in again with the pencil. And then I'm gonna press my lips together just to blend it out. Yeah, so I think I really think I got the consistency that I want now. So I'm gonna put this mirror away. By the way, I'm using the mirror from one of my eyeshadow palettes. So yes, you know how they say, do not despise humble beginnings, right? So thank you so, so much. I don't know if my guest has found us yet. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna share a link to the guest so that she can come on. She has to come on because we're talking about something very important, and it's very important that she is here. Let me just let me just invite her. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just sharing a link with my guest of today, and I'm so excited to have her here. This is gonna be awesome, man. So welcome once again to my channel, you guys. I did my makeup of the day on, Let's Talk. I was just showing you guys how I do a red and black ombre lip. So this is how I do it. So you guys are welcome once again to my channel. My name is Fifi Rich. I'm a makeup artist and an inspirator. I have content that is impactful. I have programs that are meant to just impact the lives of others and help us all to improve and do well in this life. Then I'm also a makeup artist, and my makeup artistry speaks to people that are beginners in the area of makeup and people that are generally on a low budget. Like you want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to own your makeup game, but you're on a budget. So that's my makeup artistry, and that's the kind of people that it speaks to. So you're welcome. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. give this video a thumbs up and share it, share it to the next person. Let another person, let somebody know that we are live and we're talking about our women to blame for gender-based violence. So I'm so excited, so excited. Welcome, 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 welcome. And if you'd like to support our cause, in any of our programs, please just feel free to email. My email address is always available in the description box. I'm not gonna edit. Um, if I haven't, yeah, I haven't edited the email address to this description box, but I will to this broadcast description box, but I will do that right after we are done here. So, are women to blame for sexual violence? Are women to blame for sexual violence? While I'm just waiting for the guest of the day, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about this. There was a time I actually uploaded there was a time I actually did a video. Let me just myself and sit properly. There's a time I actually did I uploaded a video on my YouTube channel this one time, and I was doing a follow-up commentary, a personal commentary of how I felt on the matter, which was from a video clip by MTV Sugar. One of the things I do is peer education, but virtually. So we had posted a clip that was showcasing, a young man's aggression towards a woman sexually. So that was sexual violence, and I just wanted to share my take on the matter. But I wish that I would be doing this with my guests on here. So I'm just waiting for them. But I'm just gonna go ahead and start. I think they'll find us anyway because we gotta get rolling, right? So I did a commentary, and one of the things that I was talking about is like a yes and no situation. Like women can be blamed sometimes, and then women shouldn't be blamed. This is a disclaimer. Do not ever for 1 minute think that I am advocating for perpetrators of sexual violence. No, nobody deserves to be violated sexually. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what's going on. It doesn't matter. So I do not condone sexual violence. I don't condone sexual violence at all. And so I'm by no means saying that sexual violence is a justified thing under any circumstances. Okay, it's never right for anybody to force themselves on you. I believe, like everybody else that is normal and sane, would believe that sex should be a mutually consented thing. Okay, so and I just want to say, if you've been a victim of sexual violence, before we go any further, please just make sure that you reach out, find an organization, a place we can get help. We can we can get therapy, we can get psychosocial support, just like we're having patients on here today. She's a counselor, she's a therapist. We have a lot of people like her, you see, who help with issues like this. So you got to get with people like that. Don't allow yourself to suffer in silence and carry this guilt, this blame, this shame, as though you were responsible for it. You could just have been, violated and, never have had a hand in it. So please don't allow yourself to feel bad, to feel embarrassed. A lot of the time, women carry blame and guilt and shame when they've been sexually violated. It's like it's our fault. Maybe they shouldn't have done it. I think that's just a lie from the devil, because the enemy is the accuser. The devil is the accuser. He will come and show you every reason why you should believe, why you should think that you had a hand in it, and yes, you didn't have a hand in it. I mean, rape is rape, for instance. Okay, so please, 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 if you have been victimized in any way, don't allow yourself to just die in silence. There are resources, there's places like Emang Basadi Men and Boys for Gender Equality. If you're in Botswana, there's, Patience Enterprise. Patience Enterprise is what? Chiedza Social Consultancy. So get with them. You really want to get with them, and you really, really want to get help. Okay. So yeah, number one, I want to talk about the environment. I want to say, with regard to why I would say sometimes as women, we kind of contribute to a situation where we are sexually violated. Sometimes, I'm not saying every time, but I'm just saying that let's check our environment. Number one, where are we hanging out? Where are we going? Where are we spending leisure? It's very, very, very easy to fall into the hands of the wrong people. And when you are in the wrong environment, anything can happen. Okay, sometimes you actually visit a perpetrator, and I'm not saying you've been wrong if this has happened to you, but sometimes I'm just encouraging that we watch out. And if you've already been in the situation that I'm mentioning, I am by no means pointing a finger. I'm just saying, going forward, let's be more careful where we go. Okay, let's be careful the people we hang out with. So let me just let the guest in. Hi, Patience. Good
Hey,
morning.
Fifi, how are you? Hello, everybody.
Also, I'm fine, thank you. Everybody's fine. But we just had like Naomi, one viewer, and she left so far. I don't know if she's gonna come back, but it's good. Let's roll. Thank you so much for being here, my lady. I really appreciate you.
Sam here.
Yes, it's good to see you.
Emma.
It's good to see you finally. We just talk on WhatsApp a lot of the time on texting, and so it's so amazing to have you here. You're welcome to my channel. This is a nice, pretty space where I like to hang out, and do some impactful stuff like my programs and my makeup work. It's just a cozy, chilled place. So just feel free. Just feel free. Okay.
Em. Yes.
Yes, yes. So
Em.
you're welcome. I did introduce you and I did talk about what you do, but if you like, you can just kind of reiterate it a bit also so that maybe I can know a bit more in case I didn't, state everything.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Patience Nehanda, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm an experienced social worker. I have worked with women, I have worked with children, I have worked with young people.
Uh-huh.
I'm also a counselor. I'm currently running Chiedza Social Consultancy with a friend of mine, where
Right.
basically we are offering counseling to individuals, to children, to couples, to
Mm,
families, as well as working with companies offering workplace wellness.
right.
So, in a nutshell, I'm a person who's passionate about empowering especially vulnerable groups.
Mm,
Especially women, are more passionate about empowering women because I've realized that as women, we face a whole lot of issues. We are more vulnerable than men. Hence,
that's
we
so
need
cool.
to be able to be empowered. We need to be able to stand forth and,
Mm,
shine and even economically give back to the community. So basically, that's
mm,
who I am. Yes, thank you.
nice. Thank you so, so, so much. Do you speak Shona?
Yes, I can.
Ay, the farra, the farra. Oh, the farra, Mama. Thank you so much. I tried. I tried.
Tinotenda.
Yes.
I'm
Thank
trying
you.
to connect to the laptop. I don't know if you can really hear me very well
Yeah,
because I'm using the phone.
we're good. Yeah,
Okay.
we're good. Perfect.
All right.
So yeah, I think you said a colleague is also free. She could join us if you had her around.
Yes.
Yeah, she could just come right. Or is she using a different device? Or are you guys
I have
together?
I have sent the link, so I'm suspecting that she's going to join us soon. I don't know whether we are also appearing on Facebook.
We are not you guys are not appearing on Facebook, but you should be audible on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm using a laptop to connect to Facebook just because I don't have the device for that yet. But we should be audible because we did the same thing yesterday with
Okay.
another program of mine. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here, especially because it was short notice, you know. Yeah. So I was just talking about this, and I was saying, patience. are women to blame for sexual violence? I think we need to start having conversations around these issues, even online, even on our social media platforms, because this thing has been on the rise. Looking at COVID times, looking at the lockdown and everything that's been going on, divorces have escalated. I mean, I know like 3 women that are dealing right now with divorce, and my own friend just got someone with divorce papers just last week, literally just last week, and it's just so crazy. And I only found out recently that there was physical violence involved. So we really have to be talking about these things. And I was just saying, I did a follow-up video the other time and I posted it on YouTube. And this was also like, are women to blame for sexual violence? But in that video, I was just doing a commentary as a follow-up of a short MTV Sugar clip that showcased, a sexual violence scene. And so one of the things I was talking about just when you joined was, I was saying that my take on the matter is it could be like a yes and no situation. I'm by no means blaming women when they've been sexually violated. And I do not support anybody, any perpetrator. But I'm just saying, sometimes maybe patience, I don't know how you feel. We should be a bit more conscious as women of the environments that we find ourselves in. Sometimes the first issue of concern to me would be environment. Sometimes we expose ourselves to places that make it very conducive for us to be violated sexually. Not to say it's their fault, but I'm saying let's be careful that we learn to distinguish safer environments from the not so safe. I mean, like for instance, sometimes we visit perpetrators in the house. You entrust your life with somebody you're not even sure that you don't even know them yet. You know, these fast relationships of nowadays. You meet a person today, in the afternoon, you're in a relationship, and already you're so trusting. Those are some of the things that I'm looking at, and it makes it very easy. Sometimes just the clubs, that's another environment. Like when women are going out, the places we hang out at for leisure, when we're drinking, we could get spiked, we could get so drunk that we lose, consciousness of what's going on, and people can take advantage. So this is just an environmental consideration. I don't know if it could be true.
All right. Yes, it's important to consider the environment that you are in as a woman, like you have rightly highlighted. Yes, there are cases of when women are raped because they visited the perpetrator's house, or probably they've gone clubbing and their drinks were spiked and all. But we have also realized that a majority of women can also be sexually abused in the private spaces. You may understand that loads of people who are the perpetrators are people that we know, not
Yeah,
strangers.
yeah.
And now with COVID-19, we have realized that there has been an increase in cases of abuse of women within their houses. So the home is no longer a safe place. When we were growing up, we knew that the house was a safe place, somewhere where you could run to. But now with COVID-19, it has exposed how unsafe our houses are. You
What
understand
is,
me?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So it's,
patience.
it's a complicated issue. There are many issues that
Yeah,
have been happening. I
yeah.
think mostly, as within the home, the wife would go to work or the husband would go to work, the kids would go to school, and people normally had, just a few hours together. But now with COVID-19, people were forced to be indoors together the whole 24 hours. So it
Yeah,
revealed
but
that even as families, people had issues. So people ended up taking out their anger issues on each other. But we just want to highlight
wow.
that abuse of any form is a form of violation of human rights. Yes,
Yeah.
we are talking about women being violated, But we have realized that we also have men who are violated. For men,
By
it may not be
women.
sexual abuse, but it's mostly emotional abuse of how they
That's
are
right.
demeaned, they are ashamed, they are
Mm,
isolated. So abuse is a broad type. Yes, we
yeah.
tend normally to look at sexual, but we also have other types of abuses: the economic abuse, the physical abuse, the emotional abuse.
Mm,
And we also really need to talk about those types of abuses.
that's right. That's so true. So, patience, does this show us that already before COVID, we had a lot of issues in our homes? People had a lot of marital issues, relationship issues. And so the lockdown was just a platform for that to manifest because it's like now it gives me the impression that all along when people are going to work every day, it's a time to get away from the partner. It's a time to get away from this woman, this man, this environment is so toxic. What is making our homes to be more like so toxic, so harsh, so just very unconducive to stay in? What is causing all this? Because like you said, a home ideally is the safe haven of a family, a husband and wife, children. But now children are afraid of their fathers in the home. Children are afraid of their grandfathers. It's just crazy brothers. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, what I've realized as I've done my research, I have realized that with COVID-19, it came when people were not, it was unplanned. It's something that just sprang up on people. And
yeah,
other people didn't have any income. You know how it is that people usually take out their frustration on other people. So I've
right.
realized that probably for males, because now they can't financially support their families, but the families need food. The family
Mm,
need money for daily needs. But now you are not working. Everything is locked down. We understand some people were not on salaries, or their salaries were cut in half. So some of
yeah,
those issues tended to raise anger, tended to raise stress levels. And because people don't know how to communicate, people tended out to take out their anger physically on their partners.
oh,
And then in other
wow.
instances, we got to realize that even cases of child sexual abuse also rose, because now
Mm,
children are living in close proximity with their neighbors, with people that they know. I don't know what really happened, but we had an increase in cases of child sexual abuse. Many children
yeah,
were also abused, and they didn't know where to report or who to report to. So it was about the
yeah,
close proximity. And also, it highlighted that within our families, there is the need to be able to communicate with each other, to be open with each other. Some children were not
yeah,
open with their parents, so they could not review what was happening within the closed spaces. So we
yes.
had an increase as well in child sexual abuses.
You could say that again. You could say that again. Children not being open. And this is a real thing because patients, while you're there, I heard of a story the other time. My friend told me about how her nephew had been abusing his younger sister for the longest time. It's like they share one parent and then they don't share one parent. So this nephew had been abusing the younger sister. This nephew is in Form 2, has been abusing like a standard 7, standard 6 younger sister. And now it had been going on for so long. And that was the only time, that was when the young girl managed to come out and talk about it and say, hey, I've been going through this with this guy. And the mother was so shattered, so traumatized, like, I can't believe this has been happening. Where have I been in the house? And my friend was also like, oh my word. But patience, I never once heard that this young boy was reported and handed over to the authorities. My question becomes, what about the young girl? What about the young girl? There's no vindication. It's just like, oh, let's conceal it. It'll be something in the family. But while we are concealing this thing and this criminal, because this is a criminal act, the young girl, how does she grow up? She grows up to be somebody that cannot function properly. She's going to be a bitter, angry, unsafe, individual and woman in society. And her own mother failed to protect her when she was young. Who else can protect her? So these things, they start when young girls are young, and later we see that they are not functioning very well in life. It follows them even in relationships. When they have to relate with the opposite sex, it's a situation. When they have to get married, they're already coming in with the baggage and the traumas of that time. And I don't believe that if you try to conceal something, you can even get help for this young girl. So it's just like a forgotten thing. So I'm just like, what about such young girls?
Okay, yes, the society that we are coming from, especially our patriarchal society, sometimes
Mm,
people tend to want to hide some of these things when they happen. Sometimes
mhm,
they are trying to protect the breadwinner. The person who may have abused the girl child is the father, the uncle who is
mhm,
the breadwinner. So in an instance,
right.
the family is trying to protect the perpetrator to say if he is sent to jail, what is going to happen to us? What about us? But they do not
Mm,
consider the young girl's plight. What about her? What
what
about
about her?
her mental health issues?
Mm,
What's going to happen to her? So what I've realized is that as a society, it's very important to raise awareness on such issues. That
yeah.
if a perpetrator has violated a minor, or it can be, just anybody, they have to be
Mm-hmm.
brought to book. You understand?
Yes.
Yes, the
Yes.
society needs to understand that by shielding the perpetrator, he may continue to do such to many young
Exactly.
girls. And in the long run,
Exactly.
we do not know the impact, the negative impact is going to have on the young girl. You understand?
Yes.
We have cases of
Yes.
how some young girls turn out to promiscuity. They
Mm-hmm.
can just decide, okay, I'm going to venture into commercial sex work because this is what happened to me. We have cases of some
Exactly.
who may turn into drug addicts because they feel the
Oh,
society has let them down. So we are basically saying now it's important when a person has been violated, it's important that the case be reported.
yes.
Yes,
That
as
matter
a
is
family,
feminine.
you may feel that the breadwinner is not there, but I've realized that we all have capabilities. We all have a different strengths. We can all venture
Mm,
into different entrepreneurships to try to raise the family that is left, not to put into
exactly.
jeopardy the life of the young girl. The young girl
Yeah.
has a right. And as
Exactly.
adults, we are supposed to protect the rights of the young girl. So we are basically saying that it's high time that as a society we stand and say no to gender-based violence of any form, and say no to
Mm-hmm.
sexual violence of any form on young girls. We also realize
Mm-hmm.
that in other society, people may view that, if you sleep with a young girl, it may
Mm,
even cure you of HIV and AIDS, or this myths and misconceptions that people have.
mm.
These things we need to take a stand and say no and
And
protect the
say no.
rights of young girls. They are the
Yeah.
future. They are our future, and they have rights like everybody else. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so sad, it's so, so sad. And this is just leading to a whole lot of complications, even with, relationships, and it's contributing again to the high rate of divorce because people are now going into marriages without dealing with the baggage already. So that's just a crazy thing. But anyway, I think I kind of understand when you talk about environment and the dynamics of the girl child in the house. It should be reported. But what about also issues like men and them having to take responsibility for, their acts when it comes to sexual violence? men suffer from a lack of self-control. Is this true? Is it not true? Or for a lot of situations where there was sexual violence, was it because, you know what, I couldn't control myself, or I saw her dressed nice, but she dressed in such a way that communicated that this is what she wanted, and yet that's not what she said with her mouth. So some people just have an issue with self-control. So is this something that also is worth talking about, and how can men now just learn, how can they develop themselves into people with better self-control?
Okay, I've realized that when we talk about issues to do with sexual violence, we have some myths and misconceptions. You know, as
Mm-hmm.
we have grown up, we know we've been socialized differently. The way we
Mm-hmm.
have been socialized, some may believe that it's okay to beat up a woman. You know,
Oh
some men have
yeah.
been socialized into believing that it's okay for you to be able to show that you love your wife, you love your girlfriend, you can beat her up, once or twice a week. It has been normalized. It's like people have normalized, sexual abuse, gender-based
And
violence. So sometimes it's about how we've been socialized. It's about where we are coming from. It's about the choices that we also make. I think
mm,
it's important. The way that we raise the boy child is very important. Many a time we
okay.
emphasize issues on the girl child at the expense of the boy child. For example,
Right.
when I was growing up, we, the village, the circle around us, the community around us emphasize a girl child abstaining. You understand? But when
Mm,
you'd meet a boy child, they'll never talk about issues of abstinence. It was like it's
abstain.
the norm for a boy child to sleep around, but for a girl child, it's a no. So it's like the way we
Mm,
socialize it, we socialize them, we normalize some of these things, and now some of these things are causing a problem in the generation that we are raising. So from the onset,
mm,
I think that as we are raising the boy child and the girl child, let's emphasize that for the boy child, how do you treat
mm.
a girl child? The language that
That's
we use. When you
mm,
have you ever seen some of the music that we are now watching? You open
yeah.
trays. If you open it, you look at it, you see the girls twerking. It's like everything has been sexualized. For you to have
Sex
a good
everywhere.
video, you have to have half-naked girls,
Yes.
gallivanting, doing all those sexual
Yes.
acts. It's like we are
Even this
normalizing
as
those things. You
yes.
understand?
Even
Yeah.
yes.
So we are
Even
basically
this
saying
as
that the way we are raising our kids should reflect that we are raising them, as equals. The way a boy
as
child treats a girl child should be the same. The language that he uses, you understand? So that,
mm,
in the long run, even when a male child sees, the girl child as a counterpart, they'll treat them with respect because of the
right.
way they have been raised. So it's about
Yeah.
the choices that we also make. As a man, you need to make right choices. How are you treating the other opposite sex?
Wow.
Even
Yeah.
when we talk about when women are looking for employment, we have cases where we talk about carpet interviews. For you to get a
Mm,
job, you have to sleep with me. You understand? So these are the things that we need to change the mindset of people. We need
right.
men to understand that women have rights, women are capable human beings, women are intelligent, women can do so much, just like
They can own the economy, just like a man can own his economy and the economy of the house. Yeah, yeah,
yes.
that's so true. So it's an issue of let's go to the background, upbringing of the child, back to basics, drawing board, the upbringing of the child and the mindset of the child. And I mean, the men, and this will have to do, is very connected to how they're brought up anyway, because how you are brought up will really shape how you think and how you see things and how you deal with people. So I am so grateful for this. This is so amazing. I do realize as you speak that we really do put so much emphasis on the girl child, how she should be. We prepare the girl child to be a mother, a woman, a wife from a very young age, but we're not doing so much to prepare the boy child to be a father, to be a husband to somebody. And oftentimes, I think mothers also they just spoil the boy child too much and treat them as if it just your relational aspect just ends with you and your mother. They don't train them like, but you're somebody's husband. This is how you gotta do this for the future. So thank you so much for that. But what about the dress sense, patience? This issue of sometimes women dress skimpily and they do it to entice men. It could be intentional. There are women that just dress to entice men intentionally with a motive. They just want to get something from that guy. But now when it's a case of sexual violence, or it's another thing. But there are women that may dress not so appropriate, skimpy, but they don't have any funny motive, and yet the perpetrator may feel like, no, the way she dressed was communicating something. I just saw, you know, how she dressed, and she came to my house, then I thought, oh, it's game time, let's go. So it's like, where does the dress aspect of a woman come in with regards to sexual violence? Because I know this issue is a bit controversial and it's got cultural dynamics as well. It's got different dynamics. Anybody can say patience. How come my grandmother got raped at 65 with a long sweater, with a shawl, a scarf over her head, and a very long skirt? And somebody will say, but in your culture, you're not dressing well. You people, why are you training the girl child to wear stomach out and mini skirts? And it's so normal. And in our culture, in other countries, we don't do that. Like I had a Nigerian brother the other day. He's a friend of mine. He said to me he saw a video on my Facebook, and the video was talking about prep with regards to avoiding HIV transmission, and the presenter was wearing like a spaghetti top, cleavage type of thing. She had so much reveals, makeup, wig. And he commented and said, "This girl is promoting health. She's speaking against HIV, but look at the dress. Look at the way she's dressing." And I was like, "Yeah, I get it. This is something to also consider, and this is something coming from somebody who is in another region of Africa. So it's like for them it's a thing, and for us it's like it's not a thing. So the dressing, maybe can we just talk a bit about this? When we are just not dressed well, should we say it, or are we shy to say, but you're not so appropriately dressed?
All right. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm trying to charge my phone.
No problem, no problem. I know, Patience, that when we were growing up, the girl child was very protected. The girl child would not just dress anyhow. The girl child was taught to cover up. The girl child was taught, don't come home late. The girl child was taught, hey, don't bath late. Don't bath late, meaning because of the context of back in the days, the bathing area was a separate place from the sleeping area. It wasn't like an in-house bathroom like we have today, but you could find that you had to go and bath outside, maybe in the villages. You had to go and bath in a whole other room, which was far from where you slept. So they would say, don't bath late at night. And now, as we grow up, we realize, oh, but they were trying to protect the young girl. But nowadays, it's nothing like that. It's like the young girl is doing her thing. Social media, entertainment is what is training our young girls. And so parents cannot even speak anymore. And sometimes parents are negligent to say the reason why you should be well dressed, presentable, decent is because your safety and there's a tomorrow. If every guy is seeing you like this, the time one person wants to marry you and he feels like, but everybody has already seen her nakedness, how is she going to be my pride? So can we talk a bit about dressing? Because I think nowadays we're also afraid to look at the important principles to instill in children?
Okay. All right. On the issue of dressing, I
Mm-hmm.
understand that we are all coming from different cultural backgrounds, but mostly the way we've been raised, we've been taught to dress modestly. As we are
Mm,
talking about issues of sexual violence, I have realized that we have cases of very young kids, a 3 month baby who has been raped. What does that say about dressing? Dressing.
and what,
We
like,
have
yeah,
in
what, yeah,
nice, modest clothes who've been raped and abused.
that's
And then
true.
you realize that
That's
it's not even
true.
about the dressing. It's
That's
just about the
true.
violation of people's rights. So sometimes people tend to want to talk about issues of dressing, saying that probably she was violated because of her dressing. But in
Wasn't.
other
Mm,
instances, it's not even about that. I'm yet to do a research to find out how many women have been abused because of their dressing. I don't want to confirm something that
mm,
I haven't really done a research on, but my sentiments are we have cases of people who've been abused, but they are dressing modestly. So at the end of
that's
the
true.
day, sometimes people want to fault find and blame the survivors that
Women.
it's them who caused me to do such because of the way they've been
Mm,
dressed. But the cases
mm,
that I have seen so far, it's not even about the dressing. It's more than that.
mm.
Yes.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much. But then, like you're saying, the issue of we've all been raised to dress modestly. So it doesn't rule out the issue of let's still just be appropriate in our presentation, but then it doesn't have anything to do with dressing, sexual violence. People are just people with problems, you know. So dressed or not, attack can happen. So I see. I understand. Yeah. But patience, I've realized something also. Sometimes, a lot of the time when we talk about sexual violence, we're looking at it from the perspective of this guy did something to me as the opposite sex. But I also believe from my own observation that sometimes it's women violating other women sexually. Sometimes women violate girls. Sometimes men violate men. Like typically, let me say a woman will look at me and she'll pass some comments, you know, some provocative comments about my body, my sexual part, like my bums, my hips, my breasts. And it's like, what are you doing looking at that? Like, excuse me. And so they'll say some things, maybe they're too big, they're too small, you need to work on it, do this, don't do that, don't do it. I feel like that's still a form of sexual violence, but we don't really take it into consideration. Sometimes, let's say men stay together with a gay guy and a straight guy, and the gay guy knows very well that this guy is straight, and he will, parade himself naked as though to kind of just, arouse this straight guy to cause something to happen. And yet the straight guy is really not about that life. So I feel like there is somehow where it could be same sex violence. Sometimes women are responsible for trafficking other women into other countries for sex work to be sex slaves without that consent. So I feel like that's still violent by the same sex. So is there such a thing, or am I just overthinking things?
Okay. Normally, when we talk about sexual abuse, we define it as a sexual act forced upon a person without their
Mm,
consent. It can
mm-hmm,
be unwanted touching, rape, anal or oral sex. And
mm.
nowadays, we talk about issues to do with pornography. So that's how we define
Pornography.
sexual violence or sexual abuse when a sexual act is forced upon you without your consent.
Pornography,
So
like
if
how?
something is
Like
done on
somebody
you
playing.
without your consent pertaining to sexual issues, then it's sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. But pornography, like how? Like, can you tell me a bit about the pornography aspect?
We have cases of some young people who are forced to perform kind of pornography where they are forced to perform sexual acts, and then
Oh.
their videos are taken without their
Ah.
consent. Yeah. And then we have got cases of how some people nowadays in relationships, they would probably take a kind of a video without you consenting. Okay. And then when you want out of the relationship, they can just say, I'm going to tarnish your image. I'm going to post this everywhere so that people can see who you are.
So people are doing that.
So there are some cases like that that are currently happening.
Ah. Hey. Wow. And for the young children with pornography patients, what is the age range of this group of young people? Is it like really young people, like primary school level or like varsity level?
I don't have the statistics with me, but I've just seen and read cases of how some young people have been forced to perform sexual acts without them consenting. Firstly, because they are
Mm.
also minors and young people. They are not supposed to even indulge in such activities, but they are forced to do it. And then videos are taken of them performing such acts. We have
Ah,
cases of how some older people may even force these young people to perform oral sex with them without them consenting.
wow.
Mm.
Nice. And do they find it easy to come out, or is it an issue of keep quiet or I kill you? Is there threat if they talk, or are they free to report, or are they
Sorry, I
enticed?
didn't get you.
I'm saying, is it easy for these young people to report, or are they threatened to keep quiet? Like you talk, I kill you, or are they enticed with some things so that they keep to these relationships?
Normally, for young children, when they are sexually abused, they are threatened. You know, we have handled cases like I said, we are offering counseling. We have handled cases of some children who have been sexually abused, especially when I used to work as a social worker. Um, we had cases of how some minors are raped and they don't get
Mm.
to say it at all. Why? Because the perpetrator will say that I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your parents. I'm going to kill your siblings the moment you
Yeah.
divulge. So, because they are also minors, they don't know how to handle such issues. Some may not even
Mhm.
say at all. So sometimes when a child is brought to you, probably because they are having maybe behavioral problems, and through the different strategies that we use, we can use the strategy of play, we can use the strategy of drawing. That's when a child may draw out or act out what has happened to him or her. That's when you get to
Mhm.
understand that the child has been
Mhm.
going through such a difficult phase. So normally now we are emphasizing that as we go out for awareness campaigns, let us shatter the silence. Let us encourage the children to speak out. Let them not be
Yeah.
afraid to voice out what has happened to them. Even if
Yeah.
the perpetrator would otherwise say that I'm going to kill you. But it's important for them to voice out. You have a strong
Yeah.
support network, you have a strong support system, you have someone that is close to you that you can share with what has happened to you. Because even for women, we have cases
Mm.
of women who do not air out or voice out what has happened to them because they are afraid of what the society is going to say. Normally, as
Yeah.
the society, we tend to label it's because of something that you did. That's why you were
Mm.
probably raped or violated. You understand? So
Yeah.
women also are afraid to voice out because they are ashamed that the community is going, to shame them. They are going to say negative things about them. And we have
That's where I was
instances
coming.
of where men as well, they are abused. But then they are
Mm,
afraid to say it out because the society view men as all powerful. So if a man says that I've been sexually abused by another man, people will tend
mm,
to laugh at the man. Or if a man says I've been physically abused by my wife, the
yeah.
society will tend to say, what are you talking about? If you take the
Even the
case to the
police.
police
Yeah.
officers, they may even laugh at you. We have cases of men who have
Exactly.
gone to report,
Yeah.
but then because
And
they got
then,
laughed
yeah.
at, they
Yeah.
turned back. So it's about raising awareness. It's about talking about it, you know, highlighting it, that when we
Mm,
talk about abuse, it can happen to anyone. Some will tend to
anyone.
say, okay, probably abuse happens to women who are uneducated, but that is so wrong. Even
Yeah.
educated women, they
We
are
get
abused.
I actually think that every woman, one way or another, has suffered sexual violence. Maybe we're not aware. It's just an issue of, do you actually know what this is? One way or another. One way or another. So it's a thing. And I'm so grateful you talked about sometimes people are ashamed, they feel guilty, they feel bad. This is another issue I was getting to today. Okay, when it's like this, why is it that it seems like a lot of women, they carry shame, they carry guilt, they feel so bad? Like maybe I shouldn't have done that. He wasn't gonna do this. Maybe if I hadn't dressed like that, maybe if I hadn't said this, he wasn't gonna abuse me. He wasn't gonna sexually, abuse me, rape me, beat me up. Like, so this is the thing where it's always coming back to us. Like, it's my fault. How can women just break out of this once and for all?
Okay, so here we are now talking about the survivors.
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
I have
wow.
realized that sometimes women are afraid to take a stand or to report such cases. Why? Sometimes they
Mm,
are afraid because financially they are not economically empowered. So you realize
oh,
that they will remain in abusive relationships because a woman is like, where do I go? What do I do? I've
mm,
got children that are still going to school. I
yeah.
need money for this and that. So if I leave this relationship, what is going to happen to me? And then there are
Mm,
cases of where some women remain in this relationship because they are afraid that the society is going to blame them. You know
mm,
how
mm,
parents may say, you are here now, you should be at your house,
mm,
you know your husband paid lobola, mogadi, so now you are back, you understand. So a woman will just remain in that relationship because she's afraid the
mm,
society is going to blame them. But we are saying that it's important for people to realize that, okay, you may want to remain in that abusive relationship, but there are
mm,
dangers to remaining in that relationship. We can talk about issues of death. We have
yeah.
statistics of
Mm,
how some women have died because they have remained in abusive relationships. We have got statistics of how some women have been disabled, facially disfigured
ah,
because they have chosen to remain in abusive relationships. We have got
mm,
children who have been affected mentally, health wise. Women are going through a lot. And then you realize that these women may end up taking drugs. You
oh,
understand?
yeah.
And then we have got
Wow.
cases of women who have chosen to remain in those relationships who are now suicidal or depressed.
Mm,
So, what are
yeah.
we saying? We are saying that as a society, it's important for us to condemn any act of GBV wherever you are. in the
Yeah.
workplace, within
At home.
churches, within
Church.
schools,
Yeah.
wherever we are. Whether you are a man,
Mm,
you are a woman who's in a position of authority, we need to be able to condemn GBV of any form. And we are also saying it's
mm,
important to report the case. If you've been
mm,
abused, go and report. You are
mm,
protected.
mm,
The law is there to
mm,
protect you. So go and
mm,
report the case. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. Don't remain at home, but report the
mm,
case. When you are reporting the case, you've been abused, make sure you do not bath because you'll be wiping away the evidence. Do not bath. Go and report the case. They will do medical checkups. If there is any medication that you need to receive, they'll give you. So it's important, report the case. And we
wow.
are also saying that it's important to change the language that we use towards women, to change the beliefs that perpetuates superiority of men over women. We need to be
Yeah.
able to change the language. We need also to raise awareness in the community
Mm,
pertaining to how not to use physical violence as a way of resolving conflict. Yes, we are talking
mhm.
about sexual violence, but we also need to talk about issues to do with physical violence. So it's important for people to be well informed about
Wow.
the
So when
impacts
we
of
report,
violence of any form.
wow. And
Violence
so when
has
we
a
report what
long lasting
disempowering,
impact on people. So we
exactly,
need to talk about it. So we
and
need to come up
disempower
with a
themselves.
hashtag. Let's talk about gender-based violence. Let's
Let's
shatter
talk.
the silence pertaining to gender-based violence.
That's
It's a
right.
violation of the human rights of women, of men, and children. So let's talk about it. If you are a
Wow.
perpetrator, it's important to seek help. Go and seek help. There are people who are out there who are ready to help you. If you've gone through it and you are a survivor, know
Mm,
that you can still live. Know that you've got strength within you. Talk about
yeah.
it. Raise
Yeah.
awareness about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe amongst the people who are listening, if my colleague is also there, Mugove, maybe she may want to chip in as well.
She
Mugove
could. I think
Funu
she could.
and Yanano.
Mm,
I'm not sure if they are there.
mm, mm. She hasn't actually asked to join the stream because if she was asking to join the stream just like you did,
To join.
I was going to
Okay.
see. So she hasn't joined the stream, so I don't know if she's ready. But it would have been good to have her on my side currently. It doesn't look like there's anybody yet. But usually, even when people are not here at the time of going live, they'll come on like even after. Then they'll be just commenting and all that. So thank you so much for what you just said. It's really shed a lot of light. We should have people reporting. And from what I'm seeing, from what you were saying, Patience, when I report, I disempower the perpetrator. I disempower him, you know. So it's very important. And also perpetrators must just learn to be in a position where they say, I need help. Acknowledge when you need help. It's not wrong to need help. Everybody needs help one way or another. Yours may just be in this area, but the next person needs help in another area. So please, yes. Because this thing, like you're saying, it can really have long-lasting effects, even lifetime consequences if care is not taken. It can last a lifetime, you know. So people are so wounded, patient, people are bleeding. Our society is just crumbling right before our eyes, and it seems like things are getting worse and worse and worse, you know. But once now this has happened and they get help, they start to let's I mean the victims now, when everything has happened and say they've reported, or they now just say, I'm gonna go to patients and I'm gonna enroll for therapy and counseling and I'm just gonna commit to this. How do you help them? How do they start to live again? I feel like sexual violence, the effect that it has on a woman, it's a form of death. They can die emotionally, they can die, to their self-esteem. They feel so worthless, so powerless, so helpless and hopeless. They can just lose a sense of femininity, like that thing about me that is so valuable has been violated. Especially imagine if somebody is losing their virginity to rape, then it's like, what do I hold on to as a young lady? Because I was taught that this is a big deal. So how do they now start living again, reintegrating into relationships, marriage, you know, like things like that?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, patience. Patience, have we lost you? Okay. Oh, okay. Um, it seems like we lost patience. It seems like we lost patience, but she's been talking about a whole lot of amazing, beautiful insights into this issue of are women to blame for gender-based violence. She's saying women should stand up and report cases of gender-based violence. She's saying women must not be afraid to get up and to speak out. It's very, very important. And you are disarming and disempowering the perpetrator. We're also saying, perpetrator, please acknowledge that you need help and seek help, because those things is damaging people, destroying people. You may not be doing it to your own child, but remember, you may have a daughter at home, you may have a niece at home, and this niece and daughter, should they go through what you're putting other people's nieces and daughters through, what is it going to be like for you? So sometimes we should just try and put ourselves in the shoes of other people, you know. So I'm gonna add patience. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you for coming back.
Okay, I'm sorry I lost connection there for a while.
It's okay, it happens. This is Africa. I'm used to it.
Okay.
Africa. Yes. Yeah, you're welcome back. You're welcome back. Yes. So how do they start living again? That was just a question. Is it very easy? How long does it take to reintegrate back, to gain back their self-confidence, their self-esteem? I'm sure it's a process. It's not an
It
overnight.
is.
Mm,
It is
yeah.
a process. It is. But the
Mm,
important thing is to seek for help. That's
yes.
the first
Yeah.
thing. It's
All
always
right.
important for us to know that we don't live in isolation. We've got
Yeah.
other people around us. We've got
Mm-hmm.
family. We can have counselors, psychologists, therapists, people who are professionally qualified to assist you. So the healing
Mm-hmm.
process is different, pertaining to different people. So sometimes you may think you have just, is better, and then sometimes you can
Mm-hmm.
relapse. The same goes for
Oh.
survivors. Yeah. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
process. Wherever you feel you need someone to talk to, you can still
Mm-hmm.
go back. I know that when we are offering counseling, there are moments when we terminate the counseling session because we may believe that, okay, Fifi is now better. She can cope in her
Uh-huh.
own. But whenever Fifi feels that, okay, I'm failing to handle this issue, you can still go back and seek for help. But what we are
Mm-hmm.
emphasizing on, the importance of seeking help
That's
is
right.
important. Yes, as a perpetrator, it's important. As a survivor, it's important. We have what we call support groups, where you go and
Uh-huh.
network and have time to talk with people who have survived like you. You know, sometimes when you are a survivor and you are talking with people who haven't gone through what you've gone through, they may lack an understanding of the pain, you know, that you are going through. But when you meet other survivors within a group, you are equipped, you have a shoulder to lean on. So the same goes even for the perpetrators. There can also be support groups where you go, you link, and you are equipped with coping strategies in how to live, how to go along, despite challenges that you have seen along the way. Yes, because I've understood that we are all survivors. We have all gone through difficult challenges. But the important thing is that when you have fallen, to dust yourself, to rise up, to have your dream, to have your vision written down, to have other people who are there to support you, because you are not alone.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so, so much. Thank you so, so, so much for this. Wow. I think we've said a lot. We've spoken about a lot, and it's something to think about. There's a lot to consider. The boy child, upbringing, perpetrators needing to acknowledge that they need help and so on and so forth. It's really been an eye-opening session for me. So I thank you so, so much for this. I really want to thank you. I think for today, that's just it. For today, that's just it. I don't think there's anything else. Um, so with your consultancy at Chiedza Social Consultancy, are you dealing with this a lot? Are you currently helping women who've been, who've suffered sexual violence? Are they coming to you guys?
Okay. Like I have said, it's a new consultancy. We have started operating last month. But like I told you earlier, I'm a qualified and experienced counselor as well as a social worker. So I have handled
Mm,
such cases
mm,
in my capacity as a social worker, where you would
yeah,
deal with women who have gone through gender-based violence. Yes.
yeah. Wow. So is it okay if I can also after this put the link to your page? This is the Facebook one in the description box and also on Facebook so that people can can reach out should they need help. Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's very important. We gotta have people reaching out and coming to us for help, and we've got to continue to talk about these things and let people know that they are not weird. They are not funny patients when they've been abused. It doesn't mean they are a freak, or there's something wrong about you because you've been. It just happens that something unfortunate happened, but you are not a weird person
To
when you've been
blame.
sexually
Yes, it's
violated.
important.
Yes,
It's
yes,
important. It's important for survivors to know they are not to blame. Not at
yes,
all. They should not
yes.
even feel guilty about it. It's not their
Mm-hmm.
fault. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Lillian, NBC Corner. How are you, my lady? You're coming at a time when we're just about to go. You see, patients, sometimes they just come when you're going. But I think you should
No,
just get
it's
back with the
it's
broadcast.
okay. I think I wanted to highlight that even for parents who may have
Mm-hmm.
children or young people that may be going through difficulties or challenges, they can always refer
Mm-hmm.
them to Chiedza. We have sessions where we have group sessions with youths, group sessions with children, pertaining to what they're
Mm-hmm.
going through. Yes. So we get to have counseling sessions with them. Even for women,
Mm-hmm.
we also have sessions where we talk about economic empowerment initiatives. So they should feel free to give us a shout. We are always available to help out. Yes. Thank you
No
for having
problem.
us.
You're welcome. And I'm just so happy, Patience, to be able to work together with you in this regard. And let's keep bringing these issues on because so many people are there on social media many people are on Facebook, like you were saying the other day. Remember, we talked about this, and yet it's like they still are in the dark when it comes to issues like this. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. So let's just keep bringing issues like this so that they get they get access to resources. They should know where you are. They should know how to find you. So I am all for conversations like this. We really need to be talking. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to have you on my platform today. I'm so humbled. And please, anytime you feel like there's something that is burning in your heart and you'd love for us to, talk about it, to take it to the people, just feel free to reach out. I'm so approachable. I'm always here for you. And anything that has to do with we are impacting the lives of others, then I'm good. So thank you so, so much. Thank you so much. And I hope one of these
Thank
days
you.
we'll have you back, yeah, with your colleague as well. I was looking forward to seeing your colleague, but she didn't come. So
Okay.
it's okay.
No, thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
and God bless you.
Yes, sis. Thank you so much. Lillian NDC Corner, she's late. It's okay, sis. We were just talking about women to blame for gender-based violence and the dynamics of it. And it's a situation. Would you want me to share the link, or are you just passing by? Because I could actually just share the link. I mean, I'd want to hear from you. I would want to hear from you. I mean, how is this thing in your part of the world? Because for us who are dealing with a lot of gender-based violence statistics, who are dealing with a lot of issues now, ever since COVID, especially ever since the lockdown, we've got a whole lot of dynamics with this thing. And divorces also, people are breaking up. It's just, I mean, the society is just crumbling before us because of uh, sexual violence, gender-based violence. So I don't know what's going on where you are, but if you like, I can just hang out a little bit so that you could just come on and just share with me what's going on your part of the world, because we're really gonna have this conversation. We need to talk about these things, sis. Yeah, yeah. Lillian says a lot are happening over here too. Yeah, sis, if you have time, you could just maybe just jump on the stream, and you don't have to show your face if you don't like. But I mean, we have to talk about these things, sis, because Lillian, to tell the truth, all of us, especially women, we've been abused, violated one way or another sexually. It could be verbal, it could be by a touch, an inappropriate touch by the opposite sex. It could be, just some funny behavior, a look, and some treatment, maltreatment, even in the workplace. Even in the workplace, people just have problems with women who are just trying, they just want to harass them. They want them to depend on them, so they should make their life so difficult. So we should really be talking about these things by the grace of God. And people also need to know that they are not to blame when things like this are happening to them. They are not a freak, they are not weird, you see, and that they should access help, and there's resources actually where they can actually find help and enroll for therapy and so on and so forth. And women, don't be afraid to report when you've been violated sexually. Speak about it, make it a public thing. Okay, I once had a situation where at my place of internship, I was young, I was like in my early 20s, I think. So I was doing internship, and there was a guy who who once tapped me in the bum, in the ass. And I made sure that I wanted to make that boy's life a living hell. I never kept quiet about it because he was going to continue. If he felt, it's like when you're coming into a place where you're arriving in a workplace, maybe, and people have this norm that they can do anything they like. When you stand up against it, that's when you disempower them, and that's when you let them know that this thing is so serious and it could cost you a whole career. You could get blacklisted and never be able to work because you are a risk and a health hazard and a danger to the opposite sex. Especially because, I asked this guy, don't you have a mother? Don't you have a younger sister? What if your mother came home to tell your father that somebody at her workplace did this to you? How is your father going to feel? I started asking questions. Don't you have a younger sister? So if you arrive at home and your younger sister reports to you that what you are doing to me today has happened to her, don't you know that I'm the daughter of another man? Don't you know that I'm somebody else's child? So what is this? Don't you know that I'm somebody's future wife? I'm somebody's wife tomorrow. So the fact that you don't see me married right now doesn't mean that you just do anything you like with my body, because I am going to be a wife. I'm going to be somebody's mother. So what is the problem? So I made sure that his other friend who I knew him, knew about it, and he had to correct him. And I got home and I spoke on this thing with my parents. It's only my mother who finally said, forgive this guy. Don't take it too far, please. Don't take it too far. Only my mother was pleading with me. I said, I'm gonna take this as far as it has to go. It doesn't matter we're going to the office of the president, but this person needs to know that this thing is serious and you don't do this. You don't do this to ladies. And my mom had to, and I took this guy, you see, after that, I told him, I must hear, I want to hear from your parents. No, let your parents come. Let them come. I want your parents. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Let your parents come, because I'm taking this to the highest authorities in the perimeters of this work. So I took it seriously. I made a lot of noise. I made a lot, and in the office they knew, the other interns knew, like they were like, oh gosh, this is a big deal to her. And yes, it was a big deal to me, because when we don't talk about this, it doesn't mean I'm the problem. He's the problem. But when I keep quiet and act as though I am on the wrong, I'm in the wrong for what he did, it's empowering him to continue doing it to other people. So just that, the way I handled it, I'm sure it scared him. He felt like, oh no, I can't be doing this, because I'm gonna meet people that are self-assertive, that know what they're about, and you can't just do this. I said, we are going. It's going far, far, far. So, the other guy said, okay, he said he will never do it again. My mom said, please, please forgive him. It's okay. It's okay. My mother said it's okay. I'm telling you, I got home. I told my mother this is what happened today at work. She said it's fine. It's fine. Forgive him. He has understood. And that same evening, when I was telling that boy on message, I said, look, bring me your parents. I want to see your parents. Make sure that you bring your parents. This is going far. This is going far. He said, he's very sorry. He ended up saying a longer message saying he's very sorry. He realizes how this thing could affect his career. He realizes that he could get blacklisted. Because I was also asking him, Chris, do you know that this thing can ruin your career forever? Yeah, health hazard to people. Yeah. So imagine I kept quiet. Imagine how many people was this guy going to be doing all this to. So I'm saying, ladies, please, when these things are happening, hey, that person is a fool. Is Mumu Million NDC says, well said, you are making sense. We have to speak up. That's true, says, yes, we do. Remember other people out there. Sometimes you just have to be bold. Don't worry about how other people will look at you. Oh, this guy did this. No, he's doing it to other people. They are just keeping quiet. And these people, they think that everybody is some way. Like if they gotten away with that category of women or those girls, it means that all of us should just be like that. No, no. There's still people who are self-assertive in this life. They know what they want, they know what they're about, and they know where they're going. Yes, exactly. So thank you so much, sis. We have to speak up. I'm just saying this to emphasize to women that every woman, every girl, one way or another, there's been an incident of some kind of sexual violence. It could be a touch, an inappropriate look, a message at the gym, some funny comments. It could be wherever, however, at church. Patience also mentioned church, Lillian. She said also at church. And I wanted her to talk more about the issue of church. How are people violating people sexually at church? That's another thing. And I just, we never got to that. But one of these days, I think she'll come back and then we'll talk more about it. So the dynamics of sexual violence are broad. The dynamics of gender-based violence are broad. So let's not keep quiet. I'm just saying this to emphasize that we really need to talk. We really need to talk, especially for young ladies out there. They're probably going through a lot, and mothers and fathers are not aware. They are very vulnerable to a lot of things nowadays. So please, let's just speak out. But anyway, without wasting my time, I think I'm done. I think I'm done for today. We've had a very interesting time. I was so happy to be here. I'm always just excited to come on live and just to share some things and to talk with somebody. So Guys, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. And feel free to share the broadcast. Share it, share it, share it. Because you never know who you're helping, but surely, surely, one way or another, you're helping somebody. And you guys on Facebook, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for watching this thing. If you're going to be here as a rebroadcast, please just comment. Let me know that you're here for the rebroadcast so that I can appreciate you and shout you out. I really, really love you guys, and share it also. You guys on Facebook, share the broadcast because you're also gonna be helping somebody. Okay. Lillian NDC Connor says, okay, dear. Thank you so much, sis. So guys, just remember that there's the Fifi Rich both black makeup brush set. You guys can purchase my brush set. Thank you so much, Lillian. I really appreciate you. I'm so sorry, guys. It's the network. Yeah, see you again, sis. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Take care of yourself. I'm sorry, guys. This is the network issue, and yeah, you can book a makeup consultation if you feel like you just want to upgrade, enhance your makeup skill, your makeup artistry, and also you can book me for face beads for your event, makeup, for personal branding as well, ladies. One of the things I love to help women with is personal branding. Okay, your reputation says a lot about you, even online. And skincare and makeup tutorials, you can find things like that also on my YouTube channel, and you can also reach out if you need particular and specific attention from myself. Feel free to WhatsApp me on 76516 if you're in Botswana, if you're in Botswana or anywhere. And the code actually +267 76516 943. That's my phone number with the code. Feel free to WhatsApp me for a quick response, and so that you could also book your free discovery call. A free discovery call is just where we say, hey, what's your pain points? What's your problem areas when it comes to you and your makeup, your personal branding, and things like that. Thank you so much. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Remember to subscribe, like, follow my page. I will see you guys very soon. I was happy to be here. See you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys.